All right, so I want to talk about something that I'm going to talk about generally. I have answered this question before, but I want to answer it again because I don't really respond to specific glazers of Johnny Somali. That is, people want to kiss his etc. There is a weird cadre of people on the internet that love Johnny Somali, or they want to try to hurt him. They also want him to keep doing these sort of things around the world. They're really promoting Johnny. So, and there are a small cadre, and there've been a couple of them that have come out to the woodwork because they intend to essentially, like, they want to gain their little internet clout off of Johnny. And some of them try to frame this as, oh, this is a freedom of speech thing. Now, I have touched on this before, and I'm going to say it again, but I want to bring up some other evidence. Obviously, I've talked about, people who try to argue that Johnny is freedom of speech. There's a lot of ways to debunk this. The first and foremost is you're not in America, right? So if you want to do an advocacy for this or whatever, right, and you're an American, then the only place you can really do that is America. If you're outside of America, you're subject to the laws of another country. It's simple as that. And the laws of other countries are different, and you have to accept that. That's something that you are not going to change, and you have no power to change as a non-citizen. So that as an argument, which, by the way, is ridiculous and not the point at all, is not going to happen. Beyond that, so that's okay, it's a different country. You can't vote. You have no power there. Beyond that, and I've talked about this a lot, freedom to speak is not freedom to do crimes. It's also not freedom to bother other people, lie about other people, threaten other people, trespass on their property, break stuff, cause a disturbance, scare off business, make threats of assault, make threats of assault, right? Those are things he's done. And that is not freedom of speech. That's actually criminal behavior. So freedom of speech not equal to criminal behavior. But beyond that, the funniest thing is, for all those that are trying to essentially glaze Johnny right now and say other stuff and talk about how he's this freedom of speech person, he actually is the biggest anti-speech person probably out there. Since the very beginning of this, he's been using language like, let's censor these people, let's crack down, let's strike these people. Since the beginning, he was trying to strike Atozi, Decoy Voice, and Oompa from the beginning of this. Look at the dates on that. That's even as of last year. This literally, guys, this day last year. And he hasn't given it up. He's tried to do that for the last year. Even just the other day, he tried to copyright strike a YouTube video. Right? So he does not believe in this at all. So anybody who wants to point out, this is some freedom of speech advocacy, like literally trying to strike your critics, and not only that, trying to defame them, trying to attack them, trying to do all sorts of nasty shit to them, that's not freedom of speech. That's actually criminal behavior. So you're engaging in what is essentially, that's false copyright strikes. Right? You're engaging in false copyright strikes against people, right? Maliciously, vexatiously, you might say. And then you're also attacking all of them, going for them. So that's all, once again, not freedom of speech. So anybody who says that just doesn't even pay attention to the facts that are existing, right? Freedom of speech is not freedom of consequences. Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom to commit crimes, right? Now, this is another one, and this is one where Johnny Somali and Ice Poseidon have said the same talking point. So it's kind of like, and it's not just Ice Poseidon, it's a lot of the nuisance streamers, right? They've said the same thing. So this is something that a lot of the nuisance streamers have in common, including Johnny. They always make this comment, and it's something like, well, what we're doing, it's not illegal anywhere, or it's not illegal in the United States, or it's not like, this isn't a crime, or these aren't really crimes. Well, I want to point out a couple things like that kind of debunk this point of nothing he is doing is illegal, right? Well, first of all, you wouldn't be facing charges if it wasn't illegal. So, you wouldn't be in court if there was no law. So how about that? And not just is it not illegal anywhere, if you look at the countries in East Asia, almost all of these countries have the same laws as South Korea, like very similar type of law in, like, let's say South Korea and Japan. They both have obstruction of business, right? That's what he's charged with. And in many of the countries in East Asia, you would get charged with an even more strict law. So he's probably getting off with like the lightest version of this. So to say there's no other country that has the same laws is like very much inaccurate. It's extremely inaccurate. And then even if you brought this to the United States, which I'll point out right here, you've got all these laws that would be broken by this behavior, right? And not just one incident. We're talking about all the things he's done, everything he's done, right? Trespassing multiple time, multiple places, right? Disorderly conduct, pretty much on a regular. Harassment, electronic harassment, including doxing, including threatening people, including making deepfakes, right? Which in some places is now a crime, right? California has really upped their electronic harassment laws, and other states are kind of following along that line. So, I mean, there are places where this is extremely illegal in the US, right? You've got stalking, you've got cyber stalking. A lot of the stuff they're doing online, cyber stalking. You've got assault and sexual assault. Now, remember, guys, what assault is. Assault is not, there's a difference between assault and battery. Battery actually involves touching somebody, but assault, you don't need to touch somebody for it to be assault. So assault can happen when you are threatening somebody. So the case that comes up that's the most clear was when he yelled to Moxie, the streamer Moxie, the blonde girl with the glasses, right? When he yelled, I'm going to have a group of guys. So threatening to imminently assault or have other people do it on his behalf, right? That is absolutely that, right? There are criminal threats, which can go along those lines too. There's contempt of court. If you treated a U.S. court the same way you did a South Korean court, you would be in for some trouble. If a judge heard that he was threatening to stream it, or that they did stream it, or they recorded anything, certainly they would hold them in contempt and issue a bond, right? Absolutely. Are you kidding me? For undermining a court in the United States? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Judges do not like undermining their authority in the U.S. Absolutely not. They don't around with contempt of court. Blackmail by threatening people, they either do X or he's going to do Y. Civil claims. So this is not criminal. This is civil, but he definitely can be hit with invasion of privacy, defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and tortious interference. So all of those things could get hit with. So there's a lot of stuff there. And that's U.S. law. So those are some of the random arguments. Once again, most of the arguments that the Somali defenders have are relatively incoherent or they don't hold up. But I just wanted to debunk those again. And I don't need to mention them individually because they're all kind of nothing people and nothing burgers. But just in general concepts, I will debunk a concept. And those concepts are pretty much all BS.